And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. I still can't believe it's 2026. Hope you're having a good day. As always, lots to cover. Serious talk on everything that affects you. The markets, the economy, your job, your industry, war, oil, and for lack of a better way to say it, pleading today with a certain subsector of people. Because I don't want the Dems running the House and Senate come November, which would mean January. Do you? No, really. Some of you may, some of you may not. But do you? You do know they're going to bring every person up on Capitol Hill, questioning everything. They will impeach the president, most definitely. How would you like that Bernie Sanders running the Banking and Finance Committee? Just asking. I'm going to do a little bit of pleading. I'll explain in a little bit. And of course, your job, your industry, everything under the sun that matters. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. Also on our X feed. You should follow us on X. Why? Because you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice. And we'll post it on the BizTV YouTube channel. I'm not so sure I have a ton of stuff to say on the markets today as far as the indices and stuff. But there are a few things that stuck out. And we'll get into them, of course, namely oil prices that so far, no give back. But I must say the market was up, even with oil prices up decently today. Maybe that's meaningful. Maybe it's not. I don't know. There are a couple of areas that are real big sore thumbs on the upside, and they're the same ones pretty much that have been oils. And those areas of optical, data storage, memory, and some of the semis still doing well. We'll get into the whole thing. And then we'll be pleading a little bit later. So a few notes as we get right into the market. It was a mushy day. Dow was up 46 on the day. What's the problem with it being up 46 on the day? It was up, not making this up, 47,428. The Dow was up 435 points better. So at one point today, the Dow was up 480 and finished up 46. That would not be good. You don't want to see indexes strong early, weak late. Of course, you never know if we gap right back up tomorrow. You just don't know. But that was the Dow today. Let me make sure. 47,428. That's 400. We were up 481 points at one time. The S&P finished up 16. And guess what? The S&P at one time today, 54.38 was up 54, only up 16. The star of the show today was the NASDAQ up 105. The NASDAQ 100 up 125. The NASDAQ did hit 22,569, so it was up 195, but it was okay. Transports up 200, and of course they have been hit hard by the oil prices. I scanned 2,000 names today in every sector. The word mushy, downtrends, bearish phase, bearish trends come to mind in so many areas of the market. It is the areas we have been telling you about, and financials, guess what? They bounced today. I will tell you the BlackRock was up 3% today. Blackstone was up 4.5% today. That's the private equity things, the credit that everybody's talking about and worried about, and should be based on these drops. Evercore was up 2.3, KKR was up 3.3, but KKR has gone from 153 to 89, Blackstone 190 to 112. BlackRock just went from 1181, it closed at 971 today. So call me unimpressed with a bounce, maybe a start of a decent rally. You never know. You got to start somewhere. And I can all but promise you, if the financials continue to go lower, that is a major headwind for the whole market. Retail, pretty much abysmal. And today, I always look at everything. Academy Sports, down 12% today, big breakdown on average daily volume of 1.4 million, did 5 million. That ain't Aunt Mary and Uncle Bob selling. That is your big institutions because they did not like their earnings. And I can go through a litany of retail stocks. They're getting crushed. And you know how they talk about the high end and the low end? One of the main high-end names is LVMH from France. It's gone from 153 to 108 just since mid-January. And if you go up to lvmh.com, you'll see what we're talking about is what they sell. All the highest end crazy stuff that I laugh at. I'll go into malls and I'll look at Prada and Louis Vuitton and all that. Who wants to buy $8,000 pocketbooks? If I was a billionaire, seriously. But people like it. And another thing for the wealthy, Ferrari. It's gone from $520 to $336 since last July. So I'm wondering what's going on with the very wealthy. And the rest of the retail, there's a few that are strong. Five Below, I believe they're discount. Ross Stores, I believe they're discounts. Walmart, I believe they're discount. Costco is much better. Membership Warehouse, by the way, they make most of their money on the memberships. God bless, what a smart people there. Target's acting better. TJ Maxx, discount. Off-price apparel. And something called Tapestry. Tapestry. Their brands are Coach and Kate Spade. But most retail just looks like crap. And there are voids. Housing. Housing related are just absolute avoids. A combination of the housing business is not very good. And yields have been ticking up again. And housing related, go look at Home Depot, Lowe's, Whirlpool, Sherwin-Williams, Restoration Hardware. Abysmal. Williams-Sonoma. So there's another area. You catching my drift? These are bearish phases, bearish trends, bear markets. Some things are way, way down, and they just simply remain avoids until we tell you otherwise. But auto dealers, GM and Ford just got gobbled up. They're in bearish phases. Payroll. I've been highlighting ADP and paychecks for how long now? Since last May. Just rolling down the bear market trend. And as you know, the job market stinks. Stinks is the appropriate word, by the way. We just lost 80,000 jobs last month. And I think 6 months out of the last year, we lost jobs. And of course, there are other areas that they're important. Cruise lines and airlines and everything, travel just got hit because of oil prices. We just mentioned the transports. The rails and truckers were acting fabulously, and they just got kicked in the teeth. Up next, what else? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Along those lines, the Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that crap, we have told you we thought they're trying to put in a low recently, and so far so good. But the bigger picture, still in a big bear trend, with a near term better. So nothing great there. And of course, as we always say, you're welcome, MicroStrategy. By the way, to tell you what kind of leverage there is and why it's lost so much in price, going from 457 down to 104, bounced up and held 118. It's gone from 118 to 150 in the last, 3 weeks. 118 to 150, still down 67% from the high of July of last year. Only 67. It was worse. But Bitcoin, what is it up? 35.60 low, 42 and a quarter on the IBIT. Let's call it 18%. MicroStrategy 118 to 150 is 32. Let's call it about 27%. I'm close on my numbers. So just letting you know, it's got a little bid right now. Nothing spectacular. Gold miners, as long as they're trading below the 50-day moving average, no more commitments. And we'll let you know if it gets back above. But at the close 3 days ago, below. Silver, nope. And our thought about the climactic action back in January looks like that was correct. And what that simply means, it makes like an Eiffel Tower. Straight up one side, straight down, and then it's on the ground for a while. And gold, much better than silver. And actually gold is holding the 50-day moving average, not the miners. If the gold can hold the 50-day and bounce off of it and the miners can get going again, we'll let you know. They also hit a lot of the commodity names. And how do we measure that? A breaking of the 50-day moving average. A lot of them just went, see ya. Whether it's copper, aluminum, uranium, platinum, palladium, whatever it may be. So look what we're doing right here. Insurance. We went through 40 names. I found 3 in decent shape. And I found quite a few, like the insurance brokers, crushed. Brown and Brown, a year ago, 125 at 68 today. Running down the ramp. Not done. Restaurants. I got a couple that are good. You know what's acts well? Restaurant brands. Burger King and Tim Hortons. And we thought Burger King was going to go by the wayside. I will also tell you that Yum brands, not so bad. Kava is coming around. Much better. But then you get into others. And you just say, ugh. Cracker Barrel. Ugh. Shake Shack. Ugh. You get the point. Little mixed bag there. How about the economically sensitive names? We have about 70 names. And let me give you an idea what we mean by economically sensitive on this list. I got DuPont. I got Carrier Air Conditioners. I got Otis Elevator. I've got Stanley Works. Snap-on Tools, Sherwin-Williams, United Rentals, Whirlpool. Most look like crap right now. Economically sensitive. The most economically sensitive. Now there's some artificial intelligence economically sensitive names that are still fine, but a bunch of them also went by the wayside. So even that is not immune. And what am I talking about? How about when you have a chance, go look at symbol TT or symbol JBTM, for example. Others holding steady. And then there's software. Because we had said to you they were acting better. But in the bigger context of a bearish phase. Well, I can tell you, after acting better, they're now kind of like just sitting there. And we'll see if they can do better. Microsoft, watch that. If it can break above 413, that would be the first stair step up. So if Microsoft can get above there, if the IGV can get above the range of the last week, we'll let you know. But not great action today. They were much better, and some of them finished down with the NASDAQ up 105. Don't want to see that. Our left screen of a ton of what we call lesser tech that broke down a while ago. Some better, nothing going from bear trend to what we would call a potential bull trend. So far, some improvement somewheres, some names, but no big changes. And in fact, some worsening very badly. So notice, we can go through a litany of names here. And I've said, I'm surprised the big indices are now down 15 to 20, not, about 5 to 8? It just feels so much worse. And I think what's happened here, the oils help the indices. Some of those names in the semis and the data storage and stuff help out big time, and they've been strong. They have not even paid attention to war in the Middle East. But there's just plenty. And if you're diversified in a lot of these areas, it ain't pretty. Medical parts and research. They've been crushed. I bet you haven't heard about them. Absolutely bludgeoned. So again, a lot of areas, a lot of voids. If things change, we'll absolutely let you know. But we're very good at identifying the other side. And boy, oh boy, ain't pretty. Up next, we'll be pleading with you and much more. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So let me give a dose of, Gary, why is this happening? In the last 3 hours, I received communications from some people I don't know asking me all about the same stock. And it's funny because I wasn't even paying attention to the stock, which finished down 6% today, $58.77, and that's Eli Lilly, breaking below 4 months of support, topped out, volume almost 2 times average. Well, first off, it got a downgrade today, and I'm not so sure I've seen this word before. You ready? HSBC, that's the company, said to reduce. That means sell. I don't know why they don't just say, I guess that means sell some from a hold, which I still don't know what a hold means in plain English from these companies. They say that there's overly optimistic expectations for the obesity drug market, which is expected to lead to intensifying pricing pressure. I agree. That's how it usually goes. And there's more than one that have these. And of course there's pills now. So all I can tell you, I wouldn't touch it. And what's funny is I told my peeps, if Eli Lilly broke 1,000, look shortable. But you know what it did? It broke 1,000 and then went back above 1,000. And then it went back below and got hit today to 930. I will promise you somebody will come out defending it soon. But we're just letting you know, that one, Eli Lilly, no go, kids. If things change, we'll let you know. But that looks like one big gigantic top that is in place. And again, whenever you have a situation like what they do and others come in, that's what happens. But I have to bring up something else. Yesterday, and hear me out, the NVIDIA CEO was even more optimistic than he's ever been. And I'm telling you, he's always beyond optimistic. Yesterday, he talked 1 trillion. That's a T. And immediately, the stock in a 5-minute bar went from 183.41 to 188.88. That's $5.47. What's the big deal with that, Gary? Well, it would have been a $125 billion market cap move. But something happened on the way. The stock completely reversed on that news. From 188.88, closed at 183.22 after hitting 181.41 and was down today with the NASDAQ up 105 and the semiconductors up as a whole. So, listen to me carefully. A break above 190 will wake me up. A break above 194.50, I may probe. A move above 197.63 takes out the high of 2 weeks ago. A break below 174.64 would start scaring the heck out of me. Actually, 177.85 is a break below the 200-day, but the 174.64. A break below 170, run for the hills. There are certain things in the market that stick it out for me. And one of those things is, if a stock can't go up on unbelievable, monstrous, great news, there's something up. There's something up. If a stock can't go down on the most terrible of news, something may be up to the good side. And all I can tell you, NVIDIA, 4 quarters of accelerating earnings, 3 quarters of accelerating sales. I am told the price earnings multiple, let's see what that's at. 162, 292, 397, 478. only trading at 35 times earnings with 82% earnings growth, and forward earnings even less. This second, can't buy it. It would be a hold, but if it takes out that downside, market's telling you something. All I hear is good news. All I hear is upgrades. All I hear is strong buys. All I hear is the pundits, NVIDIA. Own it. I heard one guy say, own it forever. It hasn't moved since August on 3/4 of acceleration of numbers. Stay tuned. How to bring that up also, because Lilly has been talked up big time. NVIDIA much more talked up big time. Those stood out for me. News. Looks like the SEC is going to do something about if you don't want to report earnings every quarter, you can do it every 6 months. I think that sucks. I don't blame the SEC. That comes from the government, and they're just, I think that's terrible. You know why? I want to know what the company's doing every quarter. You hear the talk about, then they got to play to the market and stuff. No, they don't. They just have to do their business. Anyway, I have no say in the matter, but it looks like that's going to happen. The SEC is going to change quarterly. You can still do quarterly to every 6 months. News. The Feds tomorrow. They started meeting today. They're in a room playing Space Invaders, Galaga, little paper football, maybe a little centipede. And they'll come out tomorrow and they'll do nothing. They're not going to lower rates. And then he's going to do a press conference where hummina. And then the president's going to curse him out, as usual. Welcome to our world. That'll be tomorrow with the Fed. We don't think they should lower rates anymore, or at least for now, because they're already at 3.5%, with the 10-year at 4.2 and the 30-year at 4.85, and oil soaring. The USO today was up 3.3%. But don't worry, the president says as soon as we get out, oil prices are going to drop big time. We'll see. We'll keep you apprised. Strength today was in oils. Oil services have been weaker. They came on strong today. The big oil up a little. The Explorer is a little bit better than the big oil. And of course, though, true, if oil prices tank, these things are going to get smoked. But right now, they can sell their oil for a lot higher than it was 5 weeks ago. And price at the pump, sorry, not my fault. I did, what I pay yesterday, $3.99 for the middle here in Florida. I can only imagine what the hell is going on in California. Up next, a little pleading. You'll see why. This is the one only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm going to spend a few minutes pleading with those of you who don't want the Dems running the House and Senate come November. Well, they win November. I think they start in January. I'm pleading because this administration is handing it over to them on a silver platter with caviar on top of the silver platter, whatever on there, and big bottles of champagne. I don't know what these people are thinking. From the president on down. Let me explain. You know who Kevin Hassett is, right? He is the head of economic advisors, the guy they put on TV all the time. Let me quote him today. And he's talking about if the war lasts longer. I'm quoting him. It would hurt consumers. And we'd have to think about what we'd have to do about that. And here's the money quote for the Democratic Party. But that's really the last of our concerns right now. The consumer. He's telling American consumers it's the last of our concerns right now. Now, we have an idea what he's trying to say. Hey, we're at war. The Dems are going to play that 100,000 times. And you know where they're going to play it? In localities where you have the most independence. What are these people thinking to say that? But that's really the last of our concerns right now. Oil prices skyrocketing. Farmers getting killed on fertilizer. That's number one. Next. The president was putting down Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom says, I have learning disabilities. Here's what the president said. You can go look it up. Oh, I have nothing against people with learning disabilities. But they shouldn't be president. What? Go look it up. Is that going to win votes? I mean, what is going on here? I don't even know what to say. I'm pleading with you that have a line into this administration to shut the hell up and get on point. Because, 27 and 28 are going to be a gem. Oh, but I'm not done. It all comes under be careful what you wish for. The president does a big thing today to sign a new legislation on fighting fraud. And I guess he was addressing what's happening in Minnesota. And he's blasting Somalians today as a whole, which is another mistake. You should blast anybody who commits fraud, Somalian or not. What do you think the Dems did all over social media today? They listed every person he has pardoned that we have told you about, white-collar criminals, that gave his administration or his PAC or campaign $1, $2, $3 million bucks, and no longer have to pay restitution to victims. All fraud related. Imagine the video that the Democrats are going to put out now. Here's the president signing legislation on fraud. And then they're going to go through a laundry list of people who committed huge fraud and got pardoned because the administration or the campaign or whatever got big money. I'm done. I'm done pleading. And by the way, you know I'm completely against those pardons. Especially the part, the victims are going to get nothing. So not only these people didn't go to jail for massive fraud, the victims, no restitution. That's sickening to me. That's me pleading. You all better get with it. The Senate, which had no chance of going to the Dems, I give it better than 50%. Maybe 60. And by the way, more people are retiring, which makes it tougher. Anyway, in other news, Kim Jong-un wins North Korea's parliamentary elections with 99.93% of the vote. I love that guy. Kills his family with Hellfire missiles. Talk about rigged elections. 99.93. They had to have 0.07% not voting for him. Why didn't they just make it 100? That was in the news. And late news, which we'll see. They're saying that President Trump intends to take the Strait of Hormuz by force in military operations that is expected to take several weeks. For over a decade, he campaigned against everything they're doing. Not taking a side, but those are more independents saying goodnight. I'm pleading. Anyway, that's the latest news of the day. Yippee yay yay. You all have a great weekend. Wait a minute, it's only Tuesday. You all have a great evening. Drive carefully, and when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. Tomorrow, the Fed. Tomorrow, after the close, is Micron. That's going to be huge. And we'll be back same time. If I remember, it's Wednesday. Have a good one, everybody. Good night.